everyone. Really excited to be here today. Thank you to DPAA and Outfront for having me. I'm really excited to share with you a case study in terms of how Amika perked up our sales with out of home. So I'm going to start with a brief introduction to the brand because I have a feeling that a lot of you maybe haven't heard of Amika before. So just to give you some background, Amika is a fearless, Brooklyn-born, salon-raised hair care brand. And a fun fact that most of our existing users actually don't even know is that the name Amika means friend in the language Esperanto. And Esperanto is a Latin-derived language that was founded with the vision of fostering global communication. And our brand purpose, our why, is to be a friend. We are a friend to all hairstylists, the planet, and you. We are devoted to caring for your hair while cultivating community and empowering self-expression. And this purpose, to be a friend, really taps into everything that we do as a brand, which you're going to see throughout this presentation. Just to give a little bit more context, in a market increasingly crowded by more serious professional brands, Amika definitely stands out and we're winning. Just want to share some of our successes to date. We are winning with the younger consumer. We are the #1 favorite hair care brand of teens, as based on an annual survey by the investment bank Piper Sandler. We are winning in the US prestige hair care market. We are the #5 premium hair care brand as measured by NPD and a top 2 brand at Sephora. And we've actually jumped 11 ranks in the market in the past couple of years. So it's been an incredible trajectory. And last but not least, what I'm gonna talk to you a lot about today is our #1 product, Perk Up Dry Shampoo, which is actually the #1 prestige dry shampoo SKU in the market, and we are the #1 dry shampoo brand at Sephora. So to dive into the context of the campaign where we partnered with Outfront, Pick Up for Perk Up, your dry shampoo match is on the line. We set some very clear brand objectives. #1, we wanted to obviously re-support and reinforce our #1 franchise, Perk Up, but we also launched a new formula within the range, Perk Up Ultra, which was more of an oil control formula for oilier scalp. So it was really important to reinforce the fact that we now had 3 formulas and educate the consumer on which dry shampoo was right for them. #2, as a brand, as a brand rooted in friendship, it was really important for us to tap into our loyal community of friends and drive this broader social reach and drive brand love, which you'll see later in the presentation. Thirdly, we wanted to really drive brand awareness with our target 18 to 34-year-old. As I mentioned on the prior slide, we are winning with the younger consumer, but when we measure brand awareness with Amika relative to our bigger competitors in the Sephora environment, we definitely under-index. So really driving awareness is something that threads through all of our marketing strategies and investment choices. And lastly, we really wanted to laser focus on the New York metro area. As I mentioned before, we are a top 2 hair care brand at Sephora, but when we look at the New York metro market, our ranking under indexes. So we really wanted to think about how we can grow market share in this very important hair care market for the brand. So why outdoor advertising? It's why we're all here today. Out of home is a critical part of Amika's paid media mix and our investment awareness strategy. And for this particular campaign, it made perfect sense to invest in out of home for the Perk Up campaign. So #1, target audience residents. We know that out of home is the most liked and trusted medium for our very important Gen Z and millennial customer. #2, brand impact, especially for our brand. We had incredibly standout, colorful creative for the Perk Up campaign, so it really allowed us to go into high visibility, high reach locations and gave us a chance to really have the brand pop and stand out in the often gray concrete jungles of New York. Thirdly, targeting near key retail points of sale. We're an omni-channel brand, so out of home really allows targeting near key Sephora locations and event locations as well. And last but not least, knowing that we were really trying to increase market share in the New York market, super relevant forum for this particular city, right? We could do high reach, on the ground, high impact moments to capture and attract busy New Yorkers while they were on the go, going to work, traveling, etc. Now I'll share a video which shows how we brightened up the New York streets during the campaign in May and June. We invested in this painted high-impact wall on Park Avenue, which is the entry to downtown. We took over the Williamsburg subway, as well as the Spring Street subway in June. You're not also seeing some of the photos here, but we also invested in wild postings, bus shelters, and newsstands as well to really take over the New York market during this time. And in total, we achieved over 61 million impressions, which is an incredible reach for the brand. We also invested in digital formats, the high impact that you see here. And we also tagged Sephora, which was an important strategy for us to really make it clear that the consumer could purchase the product at Sephora. So next slide. The out-of-home tapped into a broader 360 marketing campaign support strategy, which is really critical to everything that we do at Amika. The seeds for the campaign were actually planted at the end of last year, where we actually tapped into our very loyal creative community of Perk Up friends, and we casted 4 influencers to be models in the campaign. We actually casted virtually over social. We brought them to LA for the shoot, and we treated them like stars and gave them an incredible experience. And then we actually flew them to New York, where they were able to see themselves on these out-of-home billboards, and they were guests of honor at our influencer event. On May 14th, we actually took over the TikTok top feed. That's always a mouthful for me. We took over the TikTok top feed with a paid digital, which featured the 4 creators, each talking about which Perk Up formula was right for them. And that achieved over 34 million impressions on launch day. And I'll share this video with you now.
Pick up for Perk Up. Your perfect dry shampoo is on the other line, so let's figure out which one is calling your name. Perk Up Dry Shampoo. For the babes who just need a little refresh in between those washes.
Perk Up Plus gives my roots the lightweight refresh they need, leaving it feeling fresh.
Amika Perk Up Ultra. Please hold for oil control.
This is perfect for the babes who always feel like their hair is oily even after wash day. So what Perk Up are you picking up?
We also had incredible exposure in the Sephora. In June, we had this beautiful front of store table that was prime real estate in the store when you first walked in. Featured the creative, it featured our new Perk Up formula and all 3 formulas. And then last but not least, we built out a pop-up event in Soho targeting both consumers and influencers, which was within walking distance to our Spring Street subway takeover. And you can see a little bit of that journey here.
I went my own way and I made it. I'm your favorite reference, baby. Call me whenever you're so inside. Drop down, yeah. Looking like an icon. Work at every night. That city still.
Great. So this gave us a chance to have our consumers try all 3 formulas. They got hair touch-ups, they got to take photos with their friends, and then they walked away with free samples. So a great way to bring that high-touch engagement parallel to the out-of-home campaign that was running alongside the event. So results. Always great to look at how our goals translated into the campaign results. So broader campaign results, absolutely thrilled to share. Number 1, brand awareness, as I mentioned, is a really core goal of the brand. we increased brand awareness by 4 points in Q2 versus Q1 with that 18 to 34 target. So we saw some great traction on brand awareness. We were #1 Sephora brand in store during Q2, undoubtedly driven by the animation that we had behind our #1 franchise. And the Perk Up category for us outgrew the broader dry shampoo market in Q2 by 1.5 times, which incredibly excited about that because there was some really big competition in terms of new launches from some of our bigger competitive brands in the Sephora space. And most importantly, as I teased in the presentation title, we did perk up our sales with out of home. So when we double clicked into the New York Sephora stores, looking at Manhattan and Williamsburg stores, they experienced a 37% year-on-year sales lift, which was over 20% more than the national Sephora average during that same time point. They experienced a 17% lift. So incredible outperformance when we really look at that specific New York metro store area. And we are maintaining that momentum as we go into the second half. So it really helped drive, a little bit of the awareness and impact and buzz that we needed in this important area. And last but not least, as I mentioned, we casted 4 influencer fans of Perk Up in our campaign. We did an incredible job, I have to say. We kind of blindly casted this. We didn't meet them over video. We had relationships with them. We obviously followed them on Instagram, and they were incredible. And when we brought them to New York, seeing the excitement and emotion that they experienced being part of this journey with Amika was extremely fulfilling, as you can see from the videos that I'm about to show you.
The look of a girl seeing herself on a billboard, and I am in NYC. This girl looked just like me. It was crazy. And we took that subway to Union Square, and from 10 blocks away, I could see my head. Now look, I always knew I had a big head, but this was huge. And hand painted. You guys, that is not a photo. That is a painting on the side of a building. My mom was there. I called my grandma. It was so special. I will see you at Sephora.
Because we're in New York this week with Amika, because our campaign that we shot back in January has finally launched around the city, and I am so excited to see this in real life.
Look, who's that?
So for me, above all the great sales results, all the great marketing KPIs that we saw from this campaign, it was truly rewarding to see the reaction of these influencers, because for me, this campaign really tapped into our brand purpose, which is to be a friend. We empowered our community. We brought these women on the journey with us and gave them this star-making moment and out of home. So that's it. Thank you so much.